Dear brothers and sisters, many people send questions from all around the globe, and we try to address a few of them every week. Um, Questions many times is the means by which we get a clearer understanding of the spiritual path. And so, any kind of question which might come from one person might answer the questions of many, many others. So let us address some of the questions which came this week.
How can we deal with anger at people or situations with which we may or may not be directly connected?
Anger comes into our life when there's a disagreement. When someone does something that we don't expect. And so when anger comes with someone that we know, then we might be in a state where we start to say something to them. Because we are angry, we don't like what they've done, and so we want to correct it, because we feel we are 100% correct, they are 100% wrong. That's when we get angry. And we say, well, how come they don't understand the simple stuff? Now, when we get angry at someone, and this generally happens with someone that we know, because, they're physically there, whether it's at work or home or someone, that we know, a school friend or something. Now, when we get angry, chances are that the other person might retaliate also. They don't like our anger. They might not like our point of view. And so they retaliate, more anger comes in, and then we retaliate. And so then the state gets more and more difficult and difficult for everyone else. Okay? The way to deal with that situation is to be able to understand that anger hurts the giver much more than where the anger is focused. When we get angry, and later on you start thinking, why did I get angry? Should I have been more patient? Maybe I didn't understand the whole point of view. And it's bothering you more and more and more. So the key is to be patient. The key is to understand that we live in a very diverse world today. We live in all metropolitan cities where people from all cultures and all backgrounds and all faiths get together. So their understanding about things is different. Okay? So that's one way to deal with anger when we are with someone that we know. To deal with anger that we hear coming from the news, let's say. If we get angry, then at that time we might be angry, and anger throws all kinds of these stress-related hormones into our body. Yeah. And what we've done is we are throwing all of those hormones into our system, but the person or the activity that we're angry at doesn't know anything about it. That there's someone in the news you might be angry on, or you heard the news that someone did something wrong to someone, you get angry on them, or there's like a famine someplace, you get angry at God. Why is there a famine there? So when we are getting angry at someone else, if you get angry at God, God knows, but no one else knows if you get angry at them. Okay? So if you get angry at someone who's giving you the news, or someone through the news you find out about something, then all you're doing is creating more difficulty for yourself. So the key to handle that is to see if you can fix whatever problem you're watching. Okay? Let's say in the news you hear about some difficulty someplace, and it brings anger into you. And if you can fix that problem, you should go ahead and fix it. Do your very best to fix it. But if you can't, then the best thing is to use your time and help someone else. Do selfless service and help someone else. Say, okay, I can't help in this situation, let me help in some other situation. But there are tons of people all around the globe who need help. And there are many situations where help is needed, because people might not be able to survive properly. And so if we see something which is very devastating, let's say the hurricanes came someplace. Yeah. Sometimes financially we can help and we can send some monies there. Let's say we don't have the money to send, but we physically are fit, we can do something. But the hurricane came, let's say, 5,000 miles away from us. It's very difficult for us to go there, help them. Then we say, okay, let us help in our own environment. See if I can help around me something and do some selfless service and help someone else, so that instead of being angry, we are using that activity to generate more love and more peace and more joy into the life of someone else. That would be the difference between the two angers. If you are angry at someone that you know, you have to be careful. That anger can get into more anger back and forth, and more karma being built up. And so the key to deal with that is to have more patience, to understand that someone else could be, at a different level of understanding. Their understandings could be different. And so to deal with our family and with our friends, I think that's a good mechanism, to be patient in whatever we react to and try to understand the other's point of view. Sometimes it's difficult to understand because we're very clear in our head, this is what we want. And we're 100% sure that's correct. But when it is coming from the news, whether it's a newspaper or any other channel or any other media, then I think if we can help the situation, we should help the situation. That is painful or difficult. But if we can't help, then let's help someplace else so that we use our energies in the best possible manner.
How can we focus on our spiritual practices while living in a toxic environment?
If we feel that our homes have become toxic, because somewhere in our household or someone in our household is bringing negativity into our life, what we have to do is we need to be loving and caring towards that person. In each one of our families, we feel that many people feel that there's someone who's bringing difficulties to them. Now that person could be lying, they could be deceitful, they could be, saying things behind our back, they want to put us down, they build their own ego up to show they are great or they are better than us. There could be many reasons, but we find in many families that people realize or people think that there's at least one person who's creating difficulties for them, making life difficult. And when that happens in a home, then the difficulty compounds, because then you're seeing that person a lot more. So the key is not to retaliate. The key is not to say, you did this to me, then I'm going to do this to you, or have an argument or a fight with them. The key is to be loving yourself. Your responses should be loving, and I know it's difficult to do that. It's easier to say, difficult to put into practice when someone's always bothering you. But when we retaliate, then we create more difficulties for ourselves and for everyone else. So the key is to be loving ourselves in all circumstances. And then we'll find that maybe with time, they'll realize that what they're doing or what they're saying or what their behavior is not correct, and they might change. The other thing we can do is that we need to be able to find time for our meditative practices. Okay? There's no one in any family who's with us 24 hours a day. So we can choose a time when we are not with them to do our meditative practices. And when we do our meditative practice, at that time we should not be thinking about them. We need to get to a state where we can meditate without any thoughts, especially if someone is bothering us, definitely not have any thoughts about them, because then the thoughts will compound and then we'll keep on thinking and thinking and thinking, and that will bring more difficulty into our lives. So the key is to be able to, first be able to be loving to them, and second to be able to find our time to meditate. Even there in a household, we can go to another room, we can be in an area which is more quiet, we can be away from them, so that we can spend some time in meditation. It'll calm us, it'll collect us, and then we'll be able to deal with the difficulty much more. It's all a question of keeping ourselves air conditioned. Okay? We all have heard the heat wave that is going on in the world. Right, today there's like heat wave and there's the temperature going all over the world, and people to safeguard themselves air condition themselves so that the outside heat doesn't affect us. Okay, so that's what we need to do, and to keep us air conditioned, we need to meditate, because when we meditate, what happens is we are able to, with help and guidance, we are able to reach states of happiness and calm and joy and bliss. And those states are not going to last only for the time that we meditate, they'll last for long times afterwards. So that's the time when we are not affected by the world outside. Okay? So even if you meditate for half an hour, maybe it'll keep you calm for like 1.5 or 2 hours, so you can deal with that person. Because you're calm, you're collected, you're happy on the inside. Say, I don't care, let them say whatever they say, because I am happy myself. So we need to put ourselves in that protective gear, so that nothing can penetrate through it to bother us. Okay? And when we do that, then whosoever's on the outside who's trying to bother us is not going to be able to get into us. But the protective gear comes as we meditate. So meditation is a very important aspect of us being able to deal with someone who's trying to bring toxins into our system, whether they be in our home, whether they be in our places of work. Because many times we go to work and we say, this person is keeping me from getting promoted, or I am doing all the job and this person is getting all the credit, or my boss doesn't know anything, I don't know why he or she got promoted. So these things happen to all of us, right, when we go there. So now you need to get those guys out of your system and not let them bother you. And then you find, whether it's a neighborhood, whether it's your work, there's always someone who's like pulling your leg or creating difficulties for you. And so the key is to be air-conditioned yourself, so that the ups and downs which are created by the people who are outside of us are not going to bother us.
Why do we behave differently with different people in our lives?
In our families, we all have our guards down, because we think this is a family and these are our loved ones, our parents, our children, our siblings. So in our families, when we are talking to each other, we are not careful as to what effect our way of talking is happening on them. So as parents, we could get angry at the children. These are attitudes that we all have. But then as soon as we talk to someone outside of the family, we feel we need to make them feel we are saintly human beings. We need to make the other person feel that we're a very, very good person, that we behave very nicely, we talk very nicely, we do things very calmly with them. But in our own families, because we feel that they're a part of us, we think that they understand us totally. And many times, because we feel that our spouses understand us and our parents and children understand us well, because we live with them, we've lived with them for many, many years, then whatever we're thinking, we don't realize that they are not thinking the same thing at that time. Okay? So then we're in a hurry. If we say something, we maybe explain it halfway, because we think, I know it, they must know it also. So in the family, as a person, we feel that everyone maybe knows everything, and so things should go very quickly and easily, but that doesn't happen, because we sometimes don't take the time to explain, because we feel like they know it all. So there's lack of time, which brings more trouble in a family than anything else. So the key is to make sure, whether we are meditating, is before meditation or after meditation, whenever we deal with anyone in the family, that we need to also realize that they maybe are not fully aware of the situation. We might be totally aware, but they still are not. Whether they could be anyone who's very close in the family to us. and that we need to take the time to explain things to them in a nice manner. Because when there's shorter time and we get angry, then it results into more anger from the other party too. For one, they don't realize why we got angry, and then they're trying to figure out what did I say to make them angry, and then they're spending their time there, and the point that you want to talk about is lost because you've now gone into this anger control kind of system. So what is important is to realize that within our families, we need to be more careful as to how we talk than outside of families. Because, we are who we are, so it doesn't matter whether someone else feels like that or not about us. The real self should come out. It should not be like we are not a good person on the inside, we want to be good. We actually want to be a good person on the inside, so our outside should reflect that. And if we have some shortcomings, which are always trying to hide from others, there's no need to hide them, because if there's a shortcoming, there is a shortcoming. There's nothing you can do about it. Okay? So I think the key is to get to that state in our own lives where we are dealing with people, whether they're inside the family or outside the family, in the same manner, so that we're kind of transparent, and our inside is what should be coming out on the outside. Now this is easier said than done. What happens is we're living in a society where most people look at us through our outer experiences. Let's say going to work. So you dress up in a certain manner to go to work. Okay? Why do you dress up in that manner? Because you feel like that's the kind of look that everyone likes at work, and that's the kind of look that I should have too. Okay? You're trying to impress someone by doing the very best for yourself. I mean, you get dressed up properly when you go outside. In the home, you could be dressed some other way, because you feel that the people in the home, they know you well. So whether you're in your shorts or your pajamas or something's okay. You're not going to go like that outside. Okay? So one needs to get to a state where you realize it really doesn't matter. If you're good on the inside, that's what we need to portray. And so the key is to get good habits, be ethical, be calm and peaceful and quiet in all of your dealings with others. And when we meditate, that's what we should gain from it. A meditation puts us in a calm state. It puts in a calm state spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and also physically. And so that calmness should help us in our dealings with others. So it shouldn't be like we get out of meditation and all of a sudden we get into a big bout with someone else. The meditative aspect helps us. Now if we are still being angry or being in a confrontation mode after meditate, then we should meditate longer, so that we do get to that state. Maybe we haven't reached that state. Meditation generally does help everyone be calm, and so their responses are calmer too. And I would say the difficulty in all of us is that we worry too much. We worry about what someone thinks about us, and that's why we start to do things as we think will make them happy, or as we think they will think more better of us, or as we think this is what they expect of us. Okay? But if we don't worry about that, and if we think to ourselves, God is watching me, God is knowing everything that's happening with me, so let me be the best person that I can be, and be transparent and lead a life like that, then I think all of our interactions would be happy, they would be calm, they would be peaceful, and we'll find that good things are going to be coming in each and every one of our interactions. So it's really nice to be spending time here today, and let's meditate, because there's nothing better than meditation. It calms us down, it makes us peaceful, it makes the life of others in our family better, because we're not going to be bringing trouble to them, and so it's all good. So let's meditate for a few minutes. Please sit as comfortably as you can. Close your eyes very gently, just like you close them when you go to sleep. Your eyeballs should be straight. Focus 8 or 10 inches in front of you. And as you close your eyes, those of you who have been initiated in the mysteries of beyond, please do your Simran. Those of you who are new here, please repeat any name of God that you feel comfortable with. This repetition should be done mentally and not out loud. With time, in front of you, light will spout forth and many, many other vistas might be opening up for you. So I pray to God Almighty, and my prayers also to the three great spiritual masters of the past century, Hazur Baba Sawan Singh Ji Maharaj, Param Sant Kripal Singh Ji Maharaj, and Dayal Purush Darshan Singh Ji Maharaj, to help each and every one of us here connect with the divine power within and to experience the divine light in its effulgence. I will be sitting for a few minutes. I'll be getting out of this meditative state, and my best wishes are with each and every one of you. Please leave off. Please leave off.